So, what is civic engagement? Civic engagement is about stepping up, taking personal responsibility for getting involved in the public life of our cities. And it's also about being collaborative, working together, and being a collective source of change in political and non-political ways in our communities. So, we all sort of, I think that we get this concept. We all had civics classes in high school, but shockingly, 50% of us don't know what civic engagement is, or they can't say what civic engagement is. And what does this tell us about the state of our society, the state of our democracy, and what does this mean for the future of our cities? This same survey from the National Conference on Citizenship, in this survey, about 16% of us thought that civic engagement or public involvement meant, getting involved with the voting process. But isn't voting the very least we can do to get involved in our civic life? And if voting is the very least that we can do to get involved and get engaged civically, we're not even doing a very good job there. Like in the big presidential elections, the general elections, about 2/3 of Louisvillians are turning out for those, kind of decent. But when we bring these closer to home, and if we're looking at voting as a form of civic engagement, we have these continually declining voter turnout rates. And this is really concerning. It's not new news, but it is something that we need to think about. I mean, we're making big decisions in these gubernatorial races. Decisions like, are our friends our neighbors? Are they going to have affordable health care? And look at how few of us are turning out for this. And this picture of disconnectedness isn't really all that much better when we look at local elections, when we look at those elections in Louisville with the mayor's race. In the last general election with the mayor's race in Louisville, less than half of us turned out for this. And what is this disconnect about? Is it about apathy? Is it about a disgust in the current state of affairs in our political system? Is it about more nefarious things like voter disenfranchisement? Or is it just plain ignorance? Either way, we need to think about new ways to get involved in public life and to get involved civically, to participate civically for the future of our city, for the future of all cities. And for those, that minority of us that do turn out and vote, in a lot of polling places in Louisville, we can't even get those I voted stickers anymore. People love these I voted stickers. These little stickers channel this huge sense of civic spirit and civic pride. It's like the least that we can do. That makes people so happy. And we're not doing it right now. And I mean, is the reason that people aren't coming out and aren't turning out to vote anymore, is that about the fact that they can't get a sticker? Probably not. But I think it does say something about what value is currently getting placed on civic engagement and public engagement in our communities. So I think a part of the answer here is civic technology and open data. We have these fantastic tools, these internet tools, these open source tools that are changing every aspect of our professional lives. They're changing every aspect of the way we conduct ourselves in our personal lives. And we already are thinking about this, but we need to do better about how we bring these tools to bear as we interact with local government and as we work on projects that make our city better. Now, when we pair up this new movement in civic technology with an openness from government to share data, to share city data, we can bring these things together and have projects. We can make new applications, new tools. We can do new analyses. We can create visualizations. We can advocate for change using this data and using these tools, and we can get a lot of people involved. And it's really, excuse me here. It's a lot easier when you've got great civic tech and open data champions within government, folks like Louisville Mayor Fisher, like our Chief of Civic Innovation, Ted Smith, people that really get this and their staffs get this and are working together with volunteers in the community to start to open up more data. Think about the quality of this data. Think about what data from the city needs to be open to work on some of these projects. And that's a little bit about what I want to talk about today, is how we're doing this, how volunteers, how citizens are stepping up to help do this with the Civic Data Alliance. The Civic Data Alliance, it's a group of volunteers in Louisville that are bringing civic tech to bear, that are bringing open data to bear. And I'm going to share just 5 quick examples with you about what we've been up to in Louisville. So we can use this technology and this data to improve city services. Citizen Civic Data Alliance member Michael Schnurla, about a year and a half ago, he worked with the TARC, our city's transportation authority, and opened up GPS data about the location of all the buses in this city. So what this, and he built a web app so you could see what this was. You could look at it on your cell phone. And this lets you know exactly where your bus is and how long it's going to be before it gets to where you are, where your stop is. And the last deep freeze, last winter, I was having some car trouble for a few weeks, and Michael's app made it so much easier for me to ride the bus. All the mystery was taken out of it, all the anxiety was taken out of it. I knew it was going to be there, I knew how long it was going to be before it got there, and it changed the way I felt about that city service, and it changed the way I felt about getting around and moving around in the city itself. And this is the power of civic tech, that we can bring these tools to bear to change people's relationships with services that get provided by the city. We can help make a more accessible city. So last week, the Civic Data Alliance, we held a hackathon in collaboration with the American Printing House for the Blind to take this new open government data about the precise locations of buildings in our city and the associated addresses, to get this into a platform so they can use it in their new application that gives audible cues to the visually impaired, that helps them know what their surroundings are immediately and helps give them audible directions about how to get from point A to point B. Now, this open government data, this is a great data set, this data set of buildings. It's going to make their app more accurate while it's going to lower the cost because this data is free. We can use open data to come to the aid of our public officials. So there was this terrible series of incidents last spring, where a group of young people committed some serious crimes on the waterfront, around the Big Four pedestrian bridge, and across downtown. And immediately, the sensationalist political commentators, the sensationalist journalists, they jumped on the city that there was some sort of police cover-up going on because this public-facing map of the city, there was no crime points showing up on this map. That was their evidence of this police cover-up. So, great folks from the Civic Data Alliance, like Brett Walker, we delved into the data, we looked at the open data that was attached to this map, and we figured out pretty rapidly that there was just a small technical glitch in the way this public-facing map was showing these points. So a couple of phone calls, a couple of emails to public officials later, boom, the map gets fixed, and all the wind gets taken out of Bill O'Reilly's ridiculous claims. We can actually use data to try to help turn out the vote and get people registered to vote. So before October of last year, no one in this room, grassroots political advocates, activists, no one could actually just visualize the vote at a precinct level in Louisville. This was only something that high-end political consultants with technical aids could do. So we went out, we got the boundary data for the hundreds of precincts that we have in the city. We went and we got all of the turnout and registration data out of these static PDFs. We linked it up and we made an application so people can easily explore turnout across the city. So where is it low? I mean, this helps. It's going to help drive turnout efforts. It's going to help drive registration efforts, and it's putting vital data that we need for grassroots organizing in the hands of the people. And sometimes as citizens, we can collect this data ourselves, vital data for our cities. I think many of you know that Louisville is one of the fastest warming cities in the nation because of the urban heat island effect. We need more trees in Louisville, but really we need better information about the trees that we do have to protect them. So working in collaboration with the University of Louisville's Urban Design Studio, we got about 40 amazing volunteers together, and we went downtown in a huge area around downtown and collected information about every single tree downtown, its size, its species, and importantly, its health condition. So now we're able to have this baseline information that's going to help protect these trees, help drive planning efforts for where more trees need to be downtown, help researchers look at how different types of species perform in these sort of harsh concrete urban environments. And the other thing is that we made this data open for everyone. So you can go to a website if you're interested in data like this and grab it yourself. Now, all the volunteers, everyone that works with the Civic Data Alliance, we want to help people learn technical tools. We want to help people code if they want to. But you don't have to be a coder to get involved with this. We need more public officials that want to work with citizens directly. We need neighborhood advocates. We need writers. We need designers. But ultimately, we just need citizens that want new and meaningful ways to get involved in government and to get involved in the public life of their cities. So, with civic tech and open data combined, We can help charge this renewed civic spirit and help reconnect us, help make us more connected to our government and ourselves and our cities and our neighborhoods. You know, the way we interact with government is changing. We can use these tools for more citizen-led, more grassroots, more bottom-up types of strategies that fix the problems in our cities. So the bottom line in all this is that we need your participation, we need your involvement, we need your civic pride, and we need your spirit. But you know, we need you. And there's so much to do, there's so much we need to get done, so let's get to work. Thank you.